Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another episode of Robot Rumble 2. This is episode 8 and in today's episode it's going to be a very different one. Robot Rumble has recently come out with a new update which added a bunch of new components and also added battery drain. There's a lot of things that they added in this update. If you want to see the full thing itself, check out their Discord. It is located right here if you have the game. But without further ado, I don't exactly know what I want to build today. I'm taking a 1 episode break from doing robot suggestions just for now, just because I really want to mess with these new components that they added in the game, and I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. I took a little peek at what they added. I don't even know how to explain it. Let's just jump right into it. Let's get into the workshop. Okay, we're here in this robot lab, and I don't know how to explain what I'm about to do right now. So I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm gonna just make out a square, flatten it all the way down to the bottom, select the collision, and what I want to do, what my plan is with this robot is essentially to stretch it out however I want it to be. So I kind of, let me just tell you, let me just show you what they've added, and it scares me. So they added a dual amp flow 28400, which seems pretty crazy. You can kind of see right here it's 2 motors hooked up into one essentially, which is really terrifying. That's so much potential. But they also added a quad, which scares me because that's 4 times the power of a normal 28400. And I'm going to be using this for an undercutter today. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is just placing that right there, and we're going to work on this undercut robot just because, I don't know, this is an interesting design for a component at least, and I think this is going to look really cool if I hook something up to it that comes out what I'm thinking about. So this is going to be a horizontal spinning robot. Just getting that out there before anybody else wants to know what it is. So without further ado, let's jump into building this robot. So the plan that I'm going for in this robot is essentially going to be a wasp type situation. I'm going for a bee or wasp kind of theme. So with that being said, the actual spinner itself is going to be an undercutter. So I'm going to probably have it about right here with a disc that's going to spinning, so it'll make contact about right here and in the back as well. I'm gonna have a 4-wheel drive on the inside as well, so that might be the plan that I'm going for. I also want this robot to be able to work upside down. So if it gets flipped, I'm gonna have to have the wheels big enough to essentially work on its back. So that's gonna be a fun project. We're gonna jump into making the actual spinner first, and then we're gonna do the wheels first actually, because there's a few things that they added that I think are pretty neat. So let's look at the motors real quick. This is wild. This was not in the game before. What is a brushless? Are we doing brushless? Are we doing this because it looks crazy? We're doing it because it looks crazy. That's the plan. I don't know how they're gonna perform, but I guess that's not my problem essentially. They look so cool. Okay, wheels are added with everything that I wanted at least. I have no idea how these motors are gonna perform. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think they're gonna perform very well, so probably gonna have to change them in the future. I always debate over if I should just go for solid black wheels or if I should do kind of like the realistic dark gray wheels, because I feel like most wheels are more of the dark gray rather than black. But I think the black is going to look better on this robot, so I'm going to do that just because a bumblebee or a wasp is mostly like a dark yellow with black stripes. So we're going to do that in the future, kind of get a cool little design going. And I have kind of a cool idea for the butt where the stinger goes, but we'll see how this comes out. I'm going to start to customize how this spinning disc goes. Ooh, that's a big boy. That is a big boy right there. We are going to have to do something like that. That makes more sense. Essentially what my plan was, I try to make more, I don't even know how to explain it. I try to make weapons that are very realistic, especially when it comes to, I try to make weapons that are pretty unique, and this is definitely unique right now at least. Now I'm not sure exactly, let me see how this works, if it'll make contact with the wheels, which it doesn't seem like it will, so we could probably actually extend it just a little bit so it'll give it maximum reach to when it does that. Now that's not really a big, I don't even know how to explain this. This isn't like a huge reach advantage for a robot, but we can make it so it's a very big reach advantage, if you know what I'm saying. Like this goes out like maybe a foot in front of the other robot. So with that being said, let's try to customize this as good as possible. I always like adding shapes, and I specifically tried to do this so I can add a shape to where I can almost, let's see here, something similar to that. So we got kind of a big mass going in right there, to the point where if we hook this up with some Hardox and make it a nice yellow color, it'll add a little bit of a weird little vibe, you know what I'm saying? Now I might do something right here just to give it more of a realistic, so it doesn't break off as easy. So I might just copy this, make it shorter. That might be the best call. Kind of something like that, just so it won't break. Even though it won't break because the mechanics of this game won't allow it, but it'll give me kind of like a nice feeling. We need this to have a bite though, that's the thing. When you have a robot that has a spinner and it's just a disc by itself, it will do damage, but it also needs a bite, so it needs like a tooth of a sort. So I'm gonna customize a tooth that's gonna be in the shape of a somewhat of a stinger in a way. So let's see if we can make like a sharp spike. Now, which way do we want this spin? Clockwise or counterclockwise? I don't think it really matters on a full body spinner, especially this type. So I'm just gonna put one on this side and see how this works out. Something like this. I like that. I think that's going to add a really, I don't even know what that's going to do. It's going to add a sharp hit to it though. So I'm going to copy this, put it on the other side, but on this right here. And we're going to connect this robot up, and I am almost scared to go into the next part just because I gotta show you why. It's not fun in a way. That's the only way I can explain it. Alright, got that hooked up. It looks pretty good actually. It could be a little better, but fine tuning is later down the line. I don't worry about fine tuning in a robot. It could be, this could come out actually pretty decent if I'm being honest. I might need to add a wedge of some sort, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not exactly sure yet. The robot actually might perform better if it was flipped upside down, so that might be a problem that we're running into. I'm not really comfortable. I don't even know how to explain this with what I'm about to do right now. This update that just came out, they added a new mechanic to the game essentially, where battery drain is now a thing. And hooking up robots with batteries and ESCs and all that fun stuff has become such a hard process for me lately. I've been almost tearing my hair out trying to figure it out, and I think I'm almost at the point where I kind of understand it. Not 100%, I kind of understand it. We're gonna just try to hook all this up. They added a lot of new batteries right here. So I was using these ones before, the blue ones, and I was also using these ones right here. But they added the Pro batteries now, which essentially are much better. I haven't gone over how to essentially use the controls, like this tab, in any of my videos yet, and I won't in this episode either, just because I'm still learning. But they pretty much, what the devs did was pretty much made it so they completely changed it, essentially. And we got to figure out how to hook up the batteries. I'll show you in a little bit what I mean, but I got to find a battery that's smaller than the wheels, like this one. What did I just use? Can I use this one? That one can work as well. So I'm probably going to use this battery right here. Hook up everything I need, and then I'll get back to you before I even drive the robot. Okay, so I think I got everything. There's a big difference from the last update, the last episode that I created, to this episode. And the difference is, essentially, batteries are more important now. So I have 6 batteries, and I think that's enough for this robot. It's probably not, but we'll see. And you also have to use wire splitters and battery splitters as well. That's probably one of the biggest parts about this new update, is it makes you need to be able to run this, or your robot will only be able to last about a minute in a fight. So let's jump into the testing, and I want to show you something. So over on this left side over here in the telemetry, we can see that they added an amp hours remaining right here. Essentially what that means is, let's look at this top one right here, motor number 1. It has 30 right here. Once I start spinning up my blade, you can see it to start counting down. Now don't mind the robot right now. It's obviously not done yet, but you can see how it has a time frame left, and once that gets down to 0, I'll do a little time lapse right now and cut to when it hits close to 0. So as you can see, as it approaches 0 over here, the spinning is definitely worse. It's only at 155 RPM right now, so obviously that's not good. It won't have any power to spin up, so that's essentially what battery drain is now. We also have to worry about temperature on top of destroying, how much amps it gets, all of that stuff. So on top of everything that I was sucking at before, we also have to worry about amp hours, essentially battery drain, which it's going to be fun. It's going to be a real fun process to worry about. I'm just bad at it right now. So a big problem I was noticing when I was testing out the robot was when I spun up the blade, it kept hitting just random things, it seems like. It doesn't seem like it's hitting against the floor, but I know there's a bug right now currently in this build. Obviously, I just want to point this out, when you download a game that has that's in super early alpha, and it's continuing to be updated pretty consistently, there will be bugs. And I thought this was a funny bug because I never thought this could possibly be a thing. But one of the bugs is there's just a bunch of random sphere-like colliders in every single arena. So I'm hoping that's what I'm hitting my stuff on right now, because it just seems like it's bouncing in a weird way, and I don't think it's actually hitting on the floor. But I guess we'll see once that bug gets fixed, if it's truly my robot design or not. But if not, I think we're good. But if it is, then all we have to do is shorten the blade a little bit, make it a little less thick right here, up and down. But right now, I think we're about ready to jump into building an exterior. Now, earlier I was saying how I wanted to do a wedge, and I just had a thought that I don't think I can because of this spinning blade. Let me pull this up real quick. The blade essentially reaches out to about right here, which means I can't have a wedge from here all the way to the other side, because it just wouldn't be realistic. So I'm a little confused on what I should do right here with one of the wedges, but I guess we'll just decorate the robot for now to see how it truly comes out, because I don't think a wedge is going to be possible with this robot. I did a little bit of optimization on this robot. It wasn't anything crazy per se, but pretty much what I did was essentially moved the disc a little bit forward right here. As you can see, it's not completely underneath where this original yellow half circle is. And I moved it up so it has more of reach. So when it spins, it reaches out more than what it was before, which is like about a foot. Now it's like almost 3 feet. So that's pretty good. It's almost like a meter out, which is really good for if you want more reach on a robot. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Another thing that I actually added was the half cylinders for the walls right here. I feel like this needs to be a half cylinder kind of robot for some reason. I don't know why I felt it, but I did it. And it kind of looks okay. I got to do the corner still. I'm not sure what I want to put here. As you can see, it's kind of like a little gap right here. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. It's on all 4 sides. But everything else seems pretty good. It actually is hitting pretty hard too. I was kind of messing around with the weight of the weapon, and I think I got it down to where I want it to be. It does spin up somewhat slow, but it's better than what it was. I think it hits about 8,000 RPM-ish, which isn't bad, but it's not the best either. But this is also an undercutter, so undercutters aren't like known to like destroy a robot in one hit almost. So that's what I got so far. I have a few ideas of what I want to do. Actually, I want to add these 90-degree hinges right here. The main reason why I want to do that is because I have an idea. So I made these wedges right here. So I made these super fat wedges. So the reason why I moved the spinning disc how I did was because I made room to add a wedge, and I really just wanted a wedge for some reason. I don't know why. I think I'm a big believer in wedges. So this, I think, is my plan right here. Let's see how this looks. Yes. So it's going to be angled down. I think it won't get in the way. Perfect. It looks good. It looks real good. And then if I flip it, oh gosh. Yeah, that works perfect actually. I really like this. But yeah, that's what I got so far, and I think all we have to do next and almost the last part is just to add a cover to the top. We're already at 103 kilograms, which is getting pretty heavy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but I think these wedges are going to do a great job for our robot. So I was thinking that I was going to do a glass roof, but I don't want to do it anymore. I feel like doing the glass is just gonna be too much. So I'm gonna just do a regular roof, probably like that. And let's get this sized. I like that. I mean, it's not perfect. It needs more detail, but that can definitely come later for sure. And I added a little stinger, by the way, which I think I'm gonna make it like, should I make it black or should I make it yeah, that's good. That's good right there. I think all we have left to do is just a little bit of decoration and we are done. I'm actually thinking about, this is very simple too. Just get a cube and I need to rotate this on the Y? No, the Z axis, yes. Place it right there and let's shrink it down to as small as possible. And we're gonna extend this mother fricker. And then all I'm gonna do here is just make this like rubber or something. Make it black so it has the bumblebee stripes. And we're gonna do this a couple times. And there we go. It's very beautiful. Oof. It's a little bit of an eyesore. But that's what bees do. Bees are eyesores, right? I like it. I mean, it fits the theme that I was going for. Now, I think all we have to do is just add some nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts. A nut and bolt down here. Oh, nut and bolt. Nut and bolt. Nut and bolts. I, I hate to say it. I only think there's not that many nuts and bolts to add. This was definitely a robot that didn't need many nuts and bolts. That I can see at least. Like everywhere that I added is a place where nuts and bolts should go. I still have to add corner pieces to this. I'm not going to do that in today's episode because I have no idea what's going to go there. But we got to name this robot something, and the whole entire time I was making this robot, I was like, what should I name it? I kept thinking of Killer Bee, baby. Okay, so now that Killer Bee is all set up and ready to go, I'm going to plug in something that I want to show you guys real quick for people who don't know. So I'm going to head back to the robot selection and you can see all of the robots that I'm currently working on. Let's just go to my most recent robot that I made. I named this guy Dilophosaurotron. It's a tongue twister. But the big thing about Dilophosaurotron, yeah, you know what I mean, is I can go into this AI editor. Now on the Discord, in the Robot Rumble 2 Discord, they added a really cool thing. And let me go back to this robot because I just needed to copy something. So we'll go back to Killer Bee and let's go into testing. Now as you can see right here, I hit this AI editor and it's completely blank. I'm going to paste in exactly what I had for Dilophosaurotron, and pretty much in here it's awesome. You get to set whatever you want to do and what type of robot style your robot is. So right here, strat close. So what's the strategy for close? There's a bunch of things up here, and I think I want this robot to sit. I think this robot wants to be in its distance because there's a lot of different things that you can kind of go through right here. Sitting makes it kind of stay away, keep its distance. Is it invertible? Yes, it is. And then there's a couple of options. Adaptive AI I prefer on. I don't think this robot's going to overheat, so I'll keep that off. Just everything else you can kind of look through. This is awesome. This is really cool stuff. So after you're done with that, hit Save AI, and your robot will now be able to drive without you controlling it. So we're going to hop into a battle between Killer Bee and a different robot. Now, just because I thought this was pretty funny, just because I made an undercutter today, I have to put it up against our other undercutter. Now, I did a little bit of work on Green Boa, which was, I think, in episode 2, I created Green Boa, and I did a little bit of off-screen work on him, and I just wanted to kind of test out to see how it works. So we're going to put these two together and we're gonna see how this ends up. So we are here in the Robomania arena, and we have Green Boa going up against Killa Bee. Both of these robots are undercutters. Both of these robots are unproven, and I'm excited to see how these robots truly work. So let's jump right into it. They both start off pretty slow, I'm going to be honest. They hit each other directly face. It looks like Killa Bee is close to the ground, which might be a problem in the design that I created for it. Pushes Green Boa up against the wall, which is good. And as you can see, Killa Bee is sitting and waiting. Now it's kind of getting a little aggressive, which is fine. There's smoke. Smoke immediately gets pushed out of Green Boa and is immediately getting counted out. Killa Bee almost comes in, actually hits the floor. They're both not getting counted out anymore. And Killa Bee is just waiting for the count out. Drives away, and it's hitting against the wall. It's driving. It's celebrating its victory. Quick match, only 45 seconds long. But we got Killa Bee as the victor. Well, 45 seconds. That's all it took. Just one hit, pretty much. And Green Boa died. Green Boa got killed. Now, Green Boa isn't even close to complete right now. I need to seriously, put on my thinking hat and start working on the mechanics of that robot, just because that was an awful performance. It got immediately destroyed after one small hit. Killa Bee isn't even like the most powerful striker from what I saw, at least. But who knows, maybe it was just a lucky shot. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It wasn't the normal. I didn't do robot suggestions in this episode, but I am looking forward to starting that up again and start to do more of your suggestions, because I freaking love to do that. I have some awesome robots planned in the future, and this game keeps updating. That's the coolest part. This game keeps bringing new stuff, so the more suggestions I get, the more stuff I get to do, the more components I get from the game. It makes me a happy boy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this robot, what you think of this new update if you guys have been playing it, and what you guys would like to see in future episodes. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, weekend, weekday, whatever it may be. And other than that, guys, have a good one.